We are all set for Tri-City Dust Devils baseball. Hello, and again, a good Saturday evening to you, or for the first time, live from Geesa Stadium, the Tri-City Dust Devils and the Vancouver Canadians meeting, and Doug Taylor with you here at DustDevilsBaseball.com, the MILB app, Valley Sports Live. So many places you can hear and or see us. Tri-City looking to make it 2-0 to start the year. Vancouver looking to even things up. The Dust Devils in the field. Let's let you know how they look defensively. Out in left field tonight, Jorge Ruiz. Anthony School is the center fielder. Randy DeJesus is the man in right field. The infield, Jake Monroe is at third base. Capri Ortiz, the shortstop. Yohan Macias is the second baseman this evening, and Ryan Nicholson is at first base. Juan Flores catches. And on the mound, the right-hander from San Diego, America's finest city, Tyler Bremner, making his professional debut. And he's the second overall pick in last year's Major League Draft out of UC Santa Barbara. Highest selection the Angels have made in some time, if not ever. And Bremner just about ready to go to begin his professional journey. Tyler, 6'2", 190 pounds. He'll be 22 in a couple of weeks. Born and raised in San Diego. And I'm sure after getting drafted last July, not pitching the rest of the year, excited to get things going. Will he be nervous as well as he takes a circuitous route to the rubber? We shall see beginning now. J.R. Freethy, the second baseman, to lead things off. He was the left fielder and leadoff man last night. Had a hit, 2 walks. First pitch. Fastball a little inside. Stadium gun had him at 99 on that fastball. I'm guessing 95, 96. Somewhere in there. As the 1-0. That foul tipped into the glove of Juan Flores to even the count at a ball and a strike. Just know the stadium gun to be a little hot here. As popped in the air, third base side, foul out of play. 1-2 now the count to J.R. Freethy. Out of the Sacramento suburb of Rockland, California, played collegiately about an hour and a half or so away at the University of Nevada for the Wolfpack there. The 1-2 at the changeup, low and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That is perhaps the feature pitch for Tyler Bremner, at least certainly at UC Santa Barbara. He was known for a changeup that did damage to players at both sides of the plate. It was not just something that ran away from lefties and caused problems. The 2-2. That's low. The count full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And with the professional debut, it could take a little bit of time for Tyler to settle in. Arjun Namala, the DH on deck, the 3-2. Changeup, holding the ground, first base side. That is foul and rolling right to the first base coach this evening for Vancouver. And his bench coach, Matt Von Romer, out there at first. Jose Mayorga, the manager, is at third. As Bremner working from the windup. Steps in again, the 3-2. Fouled away, third base side lined. Thankfully, I believe, over the seats. Everybody okay? So Freethy making Bremner work a little bit here in this first at bat of his pro career. It's the one that Bremner is handling. Once more, the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Maybe got a piece. Either way, Freethy down on strikes, and Tyler Bremner starts his pro career with a strikeout. 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the first, and a tough customer stands in on the right-hand side. Designated hitter Arjun Namala stepping in. Last night, Namala, 2 hits and a walk. He hit a solo homer in the first inning. Then a bases clearing double in the 5th. So he drove in 4, scored 3 times. First pitch. Looked like a breaking ball, missing high, slider, 1-0. And all sorts of accolades for Bremner in his time at UC Santa Barbara. Was all Big West Conference honorable mention as a freshman, the 1-0. Swing and a miss. That looked like a slider again. Namala unable to get to it. The count even had a ball and a strike. He fluctuated between the starting rotation, if you will, in college and the bullpen first couple of years, settling into the rotation in 2024. The 1-1 changeup missing low, 2 balls and a strike. Complete game win in 2024. In 2025, is racking up starts left and right with 10-plus strikeouts. The 2-1. That misses either high or inside, close but no. 3 balls and a strike. Stadium gun had him at 99. So again, working mid to upper 90s, and that's where the fastball for Bremner is known to be. The 3-1. That's pulled foul. Might have got the front foot of Namala. It did, as it shoots to the end of the third base side of the Vancouver dugout. Count again full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. As the Dust Devils playing Namala straight away in the outfield and a little deep. Infield ever so slightly shifting him to pull. Once more the 3-2. Fastball popped in the air right side. Second baseman Yohan Macias out. Randy DeJesus coming in. It is Macias who makes the catch for out number 2. So it's a P4 in shallow right field. 2 up and 2 down for Tyler Bremner. And 2 outs for Vancouver in the top of the first. Vancouver and Tri-City, no score, just underway, as you may have gathered. And Carter Cunningham, the first baseman, stands in, lefty. It's the righty Bremner who steps and winds, deals. Fastball in the inside corner, taken for a strike, 0-1. And Cunningham shifting into the lineup spots that Jake Casey held last night. Originally that was the plan, but Casey stepping out of the lineup late, the 0-1. Off speed, change up, grounded right side. Is it in play? Cunningham thinks he fouled it off. They take it to the bag, and that's out number 3. Cunningham was certain it was a foul ball. He didn't run to first. He pulled away. Now Jose Mayorga, the Vancouver manager, coming down, and Patrick McMorris is the home plate umpire. The 3 of them having a chat, and again it looks as though the inning is over. So, 1, 2, 3 go the Canadians in the first. A great start for Tyler Bremner. And we're through half an inning with the score. The Canadians nothing, and the Dust Devils coming up. And that went about as Bremner could have hoped, outside of it being 3 strikeouts. He retires the Canadians in order, so now it's the Dust Devils' time to bat. No score as we move to the bottom of the first inning. First 3 for Dan Villarnello's side. Center fielder Anthony School, shortstop Capri Ortiz, and third baseman Jake Monroe, as it was last night. Vancouver defensively looks like this. Across the outfield, Brennan Orff is tonight's left fielder. The center fielder is Matthew Vallée, a French-Canadian from the province of Quebec. And Alexi Hernandez is the right fielder. The infield at third base, Kendry Chirinos tonight. Manny Beltre is the shortstop. Again, the son of Adrian Beltre, Hall of Famer. So this Canadians team with 2 sons of prominent former major leaguers. Jake Casey being the other, son of Sean Casey, the longtime Cincinnati Red. J.R. Freethy's the second baseman tonight. Carter Cunningham again at first. Hayden Gilliland catching. And on the mound is the right-hander Daniel Guerra out of Venezuela. First pitch to Anthony School. Taking it, misses. Fastball in at 98 miles an hour, 1 ball and no strikes. Guerra is a large man, 6'6", 230 pounds, out of Katia Lamar, northern coastal city. The 1-0. And fastball cutting across the outer half to even the count at a ball and a strike. It's just north of Caracas, so we'd have to think if you live in Caracas and you want to go to the ocean, you're going to Katia del Mar. That seems to be how that would line up. The 1-1. Skips in low, 2 balls and a strike. Anthony School 2 for 5 last night. 2 hits in his last 2 at-bats. Single in the 6th, single in the 8th. Scored both times. So 2 runs scored. That's what you want out of a leadoff man. The 2-1. Big swing from School. He fouls it straight back into the netting. The count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, School wore number 1 last year. He's wearing number 23 this year. When I get a chance, I'll ask him why he made the switch. As no one is wearing number 1, as far as I can tell. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tipped into the glove of Hayden Gilliland. And either way, Daniel Guerra beginning his time at the high A level with a strikeout, not unlike his counterpart Tyler Bremner. 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. The Dust Devils and Canadians scoreless, and shortstop Capri Ortiz standing in on the right-hand side. And we discovered this last night. Folks at MLB already had the info. The first pitch. Off speed and in there for a strike 0-1. And Capri Ortiz, last year a switch hitter for Tri-City. Had 5 homers, 4 of them were from the left-hand side. But he is now back exclusively to the right-hand side, which was his natural side originally, the 0-1. Fastball swing and a miss, strike 2. Guerra bringing the heat. And Tyler Bremner was too, but so far the 2 debutants here on this Saturday night, both showing why they've started or made it to this level. The 2-strike pitch. Breaking ball hit in the air to right center. Getting out there to Matthew Valet, the center fielder, and in right center he makes the catch for out number 2. Well, mid-depth out there. So 2 up and 2 down for the Dust Devils here in the bottom of the first inning. Again, Tri-City and Vancouver no score. And the third baseman, Jake Monroe, will step in. Monroe walked and scored in the 4th. He took 2 walks last night and almost 3. First pitch. Breaking ball in for a strike 0-1. It's good to see Monroe in the lineup. He left the game due to injury last night, it seemed. He thought he had taken a ball off his hand late in an at-bat in the 8th inning. The 0-1. Monroe socks one down the left field line. That's going to hit on a hop against the wall. There'll be no walking involved here as Jake Monroe, a 2-out double. Stung with authority on 1 hop to the fence. So Monroe in scoring position with 2 outs, and the Champaign, Illinois native has his first hit as a Tri-City Dust Devil. Jake Monroe jumped all over that one, the 4th-round pick last year for the Angels out of Louisville. That is the University of Louisville. Again, mentioned it's from Champaign, Illinois originally, where the University of Illinois is. Unfortunately for the Illini faithful, their college basketball season ending at the hands of UConn in the Final Four today. Here's Ryan Nicholson, first pitch. Fastball for a strike 0-1. So an RBI opportunity for a man known to bring folks in, including last night. Had 2 hits, including an RBI hit in last night's 8-6 Dust Devils win. Guerra checking Monroe. The 0-1. Big swing and a miss from Nicholson that time, 0-2. So quickly, Nicholson down 2 strikes. 14 homers for the Dust Devils last year. The Northwest League Player of the Month in April 2025. The 0-2. Taken low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The left fielder, Brennan Orff, playing a bit in with 2 outs, trying to warn Nicholson away from trying to just dink one out into left. Not really his game. The 1-2. Check swing. Nicholson able to hold up, and the pitch missing, either high or outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vancouver opened the scoring last night. Tri-City trying to do that here in the bottom of the first. Right fielder Randy DeJesus waiting on deck for the Dust Devils. The 2-2. It's low and the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned going through the lineups. Guerra 4-5, a 3.40 ERA last year at Single A Dunedin. Florida State League hitters at 203 against him. As Ryan Nicholson uses his timeout in the full count here, may as well. Guerra working from the stretch with Monroe at second. Checks him a second time and comes set right at the Canadians' letters. 3-2. Nicholson pulls a soft grounder, first base side, right to the bag. It hits the bag, but it comes back to Guerra covering. He grabs it and steps on the bag himself. And so both halves of the first inning end with a 1 unassisted putout and a somewhat strange one at first base. So the inning is over. The Dust Devils are turned away. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left through an inning in Pasco. The Dust Devils nothing, the Canadians the same. This is Tri-City Dust Devils baseball. Moving to the second inning now here in Pasco. Tri-City and Vancouver scoreless as both starters putting up zeros in their respective halves of the first inning. Tyler Bremner a 1-2-3 first inning with a strikeout to start things. And so the first man he faces in the second is the cleanup man, right fielder Alexi Hernandez. Left fielder Brennan Orff, third baseman Kendry Chirinos to follow. Tyler Bremner 16 pitches, 10 strikes in the first inning. First pitch from Bremner, a little off speed and in there on the outer half, 0-1. Mentioned this last night, but Hernandez 2 homers in a game here in his debut at the high A level last year. The 0-1, a fastball just missing that lower outside corner, and so the count even at a ball and a strike. A hit and a walk last night for Hernandez, ended up going 1 for 3. One of those outs to the warning track and right. The 1-1. Got the changeup and a swing and a foul tip for strike 2. And that changeup has been the bread and butter pitch for Tyler Bremner in his young playing career, now a professional one. As he works from the wide, glove at the belt, he steps the 1-2. Fastball, it's there, strike 3. Alexi Hernandez looked back, I should say, at home plate umpire Patrick Maboris, and I think he knew what he was going to see there. Tyler Bremner with strikeout number 2 in his first looking of his pro career. First 4 retired. 1 out of the second. Dust Devils and Canadians scoreless. The base is empty for left fielder Brennan Orff. Orff last night was the designated hitter in the 7 spot. Went 0 for 3 with a walk. First pitch. That was the changeup. Missing low. 1 ball and no strikes. Major shift, about as much as an infield can do these days for Orff to pull from the left-hand side. The 1-0 low and inside. Another off-speed delivery. 2 balls and no strikes. Bremner winds the 2-0. That's inside. 3 balls and no strikes. Ortiz playing close to up the middle. Yohan Macias over in the hole really more than in a usual spot. The 3-0. It's taken down the middle for strike 1, or with the bat on his shoulder. Stadium gun had 101 on that fastball. 97, 98, somewhere in that vicinity would be my guess. The 3-1. That misses just low, ball 4. So first base runner of the game for Vancouver, as Brennan Orff draws a 1-out walk. And Kendry Chirinos, the third baseman, steps in, making his 2026 debut. Chirinos listed at 5'11", 190, 21 years old, also out of Venezuela. First pitch. Righty in the stirrup socks takes a fastball, missing. Not by much. 1 ball and no strikes. Brennan Orff, a short lead at first. I don't believe known to be a particular stealer of bases. The 1-0. Low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So Bremner looking to rein things back in. He did have 2 stolen bases last year in 18 games for Vancouver. In his longest season, 67 games in 2024, had no steals, was caught in his only attempt. The 2-0. Chirinos takes a fastball for a strike, 2-1. And the sun setting over the mid-Columbia on this Easter Saturday weekend. Blue skies, just some high clouds, another gorgeous night here in the Tri-Cities. The 2-1. Chirinos a big swing and a foul straight back, 2-2. So Bremner, after falling behind 2-0, evens the count. 95 games at Dunedin last year for Chirinos. 6 homers, 43 RBI. 255 average. See calls time. Catcher Hayden Gilliland waiting on deck for the Canadians. As Bremner has a look over at Orff at first. Bremner working about the middle of the rubber. The 2-2. Fastball outside corner, strike 3. Second strikeout looking, third overall for Tyler Bremner tonight. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Tri-City and Vancouver no score. And that brings up Hayden Gilliland. Mentioned him, of course. He is also tonight's King Beverage beer batter. Discounted brews for fans 21 and up for 10 minutes if Hayden Gilliland strikes out in any of his plate appearances in the first 7 innings. First pitch. Changeup, swing and a miss as Gilliland was trying to send that to, it'd be like South Range. Somewhere in the southern Kennewick suburbs, he was trying to locate that one. Did not happen. No balls and a strike. Noise level picking up a bit here. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on a slider. It bounces away from Juan Flores, but Orff holding it first. And Hayden Gilliland quickly down 2 strikes. Last year, they have a homer and a 3 RBI day. Did Gilliland against the Dust Devils. The 0-2 runner goes. Fastball misses high, and Brennan Orff has a stolen base. Again, mentioned, not really his game, but we've seen already a couple of different things tonight where you just don't expect it, but it happens. Orff reading it well. Has his first steal of the year. He's in scoring position with 2 outs. Now the 1-2. Change-up, swing and a miss, strike 3. Tyler Bremner strikes out 3 in the top of the second inning. Only a walk, allowing a base runner, 4 Ks for him, and yes, another beer batter alerts here at Kisa Stadium. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man is left through an inning and a half. Tri-City in Vancouver, no score. This is Dust Devils baseball. Tyler Bremner, a fantastic debut for the Tri-City Dust Devils. 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. Only a walk so far given up, and now the Dust Devils in their second at bat will try to give him a little run support. No score as we start the bottom of the second inning in this Tri-City Dust Devils baseball. Bally Sports Live, MLB TV, the MILB app on the video side of things. Audio-wise, you're listening at DustDevilsBaseball.com, the MILB app. However you're hearing and or viewing us, we're glad you are on this Saturday night. Randy DeJesus, the right fielder, will lead things off for the Dust Devils. Catcher Juan Flores, left fielder Jorge Ruiz will follow as they take on Daniel Guerra for the first time. First pitch. Breaking ball missing low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Daniel Guerra, 16 pitches, 11 strikes in the first inning. The 1-0. Fastball pulled on the ground sharply to third, but there to greet it is Kendry Chirinos. His throw across to first and Carter Cunningham in time. 1 out in the bottom of the second. So 5-3 ground out begins the bottom of the second, and that brings up last night's hero. Catcher Juan Flores. 2-run single with the bases loaded. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just dropped it out into left center. Took a 6-6 tie to an 8-6 Dust Devils lead. And that was the final score. First pitch from Guerra. Rocks in high. 1 ball and no strikes. I do want to remind you, tomorrow it's an afternoon affair here at Kisa Stadium. The 1-0. Breaking ball on the inner half to even the count at a ball and a strike. First pitch scheduled for 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. Pre-game show will be on the air at 1:10, where you're hearing us in or viewing. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That had some movement on it. Flores unable to get there. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. I mentioned that Two-run hit for Flores last night. He reached base 3 times. Walking and scoring in the 4th. Was hit by a pitch in the 5th. The 1-2. Flores high in the air, deep to left. Orf going back, track wall. It's only a view. It's over the old fence. Juan Flores destroys a ball. And the Dust Devils lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the 2nd. That one was marked for the soccer fields as Flores' first homer of the year, his 3rd RBI. And the Dust Devils lead 1-0 here in the 2nd. That was smacked. As a result of that, by the way, because we didn't have a homer yesterday, Patrick Harvey, our public address announcer, informing the crowd that every fan leaving the ballpark 7th inning or after the 7th inning will receive a coupon for a free Doritos Locos taco, thanks to our friends at Taco Bell. That is the Liv Moss launch promotion starting this year. Jorge Ruiz taking a pitch low, 1-0 the count to him. Garrett fires. Fastball in there to even the count at a ball and a strike. I will ask for the X and velo and distance on that homer from our analytics crew to our left. The 1-1. Fastball, that one missing either high or outside. That was close. 2 balls and a strike. Easton Rhodes, the game planning strategist for the Dust Devils here in 2026. Sam Carpenter, the video assistant to his right. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. The bottom dropped out of that. Ruiz unable to get there. The count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I dare say that the game planning strategist and the video assistant get more airtime or run on this broadcast than any other in the minor leagues. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Elevated fastball gets Ruiz. 2 outs now in the 2nd. Second strikeout for Daniel Guerra. Ruiz a 2-run hit in last night's game. And a bases loaded walk too. It was a very nice night for Jorge. As Flores with the homer matching him with 3 RBIs for the early team lead. Again, 2 outs in the 2nd. 1-0 Dust Devils. The base is empty for the second baseman, Yohan Macias. First pitch to him. And taken low, 1 ball and no strikes. This is a Venezuela against Venezuela matchup. Yohan Macias from Behuma, Venezuela. As Guerra set the pitch. That one low, 2 balls and no strikes. Seen Gilliland trying to bring that one up. The distance on the homer for Juan Flores, 409 feet over the wall left. That was leaving old fences here. The 2-0. Macias rips one just past Guerra and up the middle. A base hit that bounced right over the second base bag and into center field. As the throw coming in off the glove of second baseman J.R. Freethy momentarily. But Macias with a line drive has his first hit in his first plate appearance as a Dust Devil. That one on a line. And the inning continues. To designated hitter, beg your pardon, I do know how to say that word, Caleb Bartolero. He the DH tonight. Macias with a decent lead at first. 1-0 Dust Devils in the 2nd. Pickoff throw over to first. Back safely is Yohan Macias. As Macias last year, 112 games at Inland Empire. 16 stolen bases. Only caught 3 times. So a bit of speed over there. The pitch. Fastball missing. 1 ball and no strikes. Macias is a switch hitter. Lefty against the righty Guerra. Well, I guess we'll see against the left-handed hitter. The 1-0. Bartolero takes it inside. 2 balls and no strikes. He had the 3rd and final bases loaded walk at the bottom of the 4th inning. So an RBI on the board for Bartolero. Otherwise 0 for 3 last night. As we talked about, though, there's some pop in this bat. Hitting in the 9 spot. The 2-0. Bartolero swings and pops it up. Right side of the infield. Second baseman J.R. Freethy just onto the right field grass will make the catch. And that'll do it for the Dust Devils here in the 2nd, but not before. Juan Flores Rocks one out of here. We mentioned the 409 feet, 107 miles an hour off the bat. Leaving any park in the Bigs. And that's 1 run, 2 hits in the inning for the Dust Devils. No errors, and a man is left. Through 2 here at Giza, the score. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing, and we're pleased you're here for Dust Devils baseball. The Dust Devils 1, the Canadians nothing, as we get set for the 3rd inning. Here at 6200 Burton Boulevard, a.k.a. Giza Stadium. Doug Taylor joining you for Dust Devils baseball on an absolutely gorgeous Saturday night for it. We'll get you the temperature at first pitch here in just a moment. As Manny Beltre, the shortstop, gets his first at bat for Vancouver. First pitch to him, taken for a strike out of the hand of Tyler Bremner. Bremner so far has been as advertised and as prospected. The 0-1 slider outside, a ball and a strike. We did not know the pitch count or what the thought was as to how long Bremner would go in this game. There is action in the Tri-City bullpen. The right-hander Alex Martinez is loosening down the right field line. The 1-0 or 1-1 swing and a miss. 1-2 slider moving away. Doing the prep and research on Tyler Bremner. The Baseball America handbook, thanks to Taylor Blake Ward for that info for 2026. The 1-2 low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seems like they're working perhaps on the slider for Bremner. Fastball, good. Changeup, excellent. Working on that 3rd pitch because that's really what differentiates a reliever from a starter. Unless your 2 pitches are just that good, the 2-2. Swing and line into left field. That's going to get down on a hop. A base hit for Manny Beltre. Quickly over to it is Jorge Ruiz. Still fire in a 1-hop throw to Johan Macias. And Vancouver has its first hit of the evening. And it's from the son of a man who was known for hitting the ball and known for his defense too, which is why he's a Hall of Famer. Adrian Beltre's kid, Manny. A leadoff single here in the 3rd. So we mentioned that as it's a fact of interest. At the same time, Manny's trying to create his own path in baseball. He goes. First pitch to Matthew Valet, the center fielder, is fouled to the first base side. No balls and a strike, and Beltre will return to first. First pitch was at 6:33 tonight. The temperature at Tri-Cities Airport out to our east, just a couple miles, 66 degrees. Clear skies, a very light northerly wind, but really not registering at all here. The stars and stripes out of left center not moving. The 0-1, a fastball inside. Valet turning away. Count even at a ball and a strike. Matthew Valet listed at 5'9", 175 pounds. Out of Saint-Joseph-du-Lac, Quebec. Pickoff throw over to first. Back safely is Manny Beltre. Only playing college ball, though, 3 different spots, including Dallas Baptist University, which would make it very likely that he and Ryan Johnson crossed paths there. They 1-1. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Of course, Johnson absolutely stellar for the Dust Devils last year, including a complete game 1-hitter in Spokane. That's probably one of the best pitched games by one Dust Devil ever in the franchise's history, the 2-1. It's a fastball high as Beltre faked a move to second, then headed back to the bag. 3 balls and a strike. Tyler Bremner was at 32 pitches through his first 2 innings of work. So we will see, again, how much longer he has in this game. Alex Martinez looks to be ready down the right field line. The pitch, Beltre goes in there for a strike. Throw down to second on the money, and Beltre's tagged out by Capri Ortiz. We talked about the long home run from Juan Flores, but it is a well-known fact in the Northwest League that Juan's one of the better defensive catchers, maybe in all of minor league baseball. And that throw was a seed. Beltre had no chance whatsoever. Now 1 out and the count full. 2-6, caught stealing is Beltre. Full count pitch. LA fouls it back into the netting. Keeps the AB going. Again, we're in the top of the 3rd. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Dust Devils so far. No runs, 1 hit. No errors for Vancouver. The hit just moments ago off the bat of Beltre, who was Caught stealing a couple of moments ago. Bremner winds the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Blue Valet away with the fastball. So after the leadoff single, a caught stealing and a strikeout later, the base is empty. 2 outs here in the top of the third. And the Dust Devils up 1-0 on Juan Flores' mammoth solo homer in the bottom of the second. J.R. Freethy, the second baseman, steps back in. He struck out swinging his first time up. Did take Bremner to a full count. First delivery. Fastball, it's in there, strike one. Bremner wearing the number 18. Here with the Dust Devils. The 0-1. Slider catching the lower part of the zone, 0-2. It's the infield playing Freethy to pull. Outfield ever so slightly that way too. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Tyler Bremner with a pair of strikeouts, a total of 6 in 3 innings of work. And the kid from San Diego showing off his great pitching acumen so far in this one. No runs a hit, no errors, nobody left. Through 2.5 the score. The Dust Devils 1, the Canadians nothing. This is Tri-City Dust Devils baseball. Making our way to the bottom of the third inning, the Tri-City Dust Devils 1, the Vancouver Canadians nothing the score. And Daniel Guerra, the Vancouver starter, will start his third inning of work by taking on the top of the order. Center fielder Anthony School in the box. Struck out swinging his first time up. Guerra in his first trip through the order, a pair of strikeouts. As the first pitch in there, 0-1. Lights are on here at Geese. It'll still be a bit, though, before the sunset fully takes hold. The 0-1 foul at the plate. So School quickly down 2 strikes. Capri Ortiz, Jake Monroe to follow. As Guerra looks in at Hayden Gilliland. Has his sign. From the wide, he turns and deals. School reaches out, gets it off the end of the bat, foul into the netting, protecting the third base side. Count stays, no balls, 2 strikes. In the Northwest League at the moment, through 8 innings in Spokane, the Everett Aqua Sox leading the Spokane Indians 2-1. Spokane Valley to be precise. The 0-2 here. Outside, fastball missing, 1 ball and 2 strikes. At PK Park in Eugene, they're in the top of the 8th inning. Eugene 8, Hillsborough 1, the score there. So the Emeralds well positioned to clinch a series win tonight. Everett a run up trying to even the series there. The 1-2. School lines it foul over the netting. Third base side around the grandstand, I believe off the new indoor batting area. That past the grandstand, so not nearly as much space over there as there once was. Still a bit, though. Again, the 1-2. School lines it into right center. That's going to get down. A hit for Anthony School. Fielded by Matthew Valet, who brings the throw into J.R. Freethy. But Anthony School, 2 for 5 last night, as his first hit of this evening. And that hit on a line. So School aboard, and Capri Ortiz stands in. Capri flew out to Valet in right center his first time up. School a decent lead over there at first. He holds the pitch. Ortiz takes it. It misses. 1-0. Anthony School last year for the Dust Devils, 5 stolen bases in 12 attempts. We'll see if he works on that a bit this year. Draws a throw. Back in safely with a dive is School. And as somewhat usual, the fans booing the pitcher for doing his job of holding runners on. The 1-0 coming here, and here it is. Fastball missing low. 2 balls and no strikes to Capri Ortiz in that right-hand box. So we went to the Northwest League scores. We'll get you an Angels organizational update. Have seen text of a great play in Anaheim, the 2-0. Ortiz a bunt in front of the plate. It's fair. Throw down to second is in time. So School is out at second. And Ortiz, it was a surprise bunt, and the surprise executed well. Unfortunately, the bunt ended up just right in front of the plate. And so School out at second. It is a fielder's choice bunt. 2-6 the out recorded at second base. So Ortiz takes School's place at first. 1 out in the third. 1-0 Tri-City leading. And Jake Monroe doubled his first time up at the plate. Pickoff throw a little high and wide. Ortiz back in with a dive. Capri stole 27 bases last year, leading the team. He stole 2 bases last night. He's on pace for 264 stolen bases this year. As he goes, pitch misses. Throw down to second. Not in time, and there's stolen base number 3. So Capri into scoring position, swiping bases left and right. And by the way, if he does steal 264 bases, it will be a record. I can confirm that. He at second with 1 out. The Dust Devils looking to add to a 1-0 lead. The 1-0 to Jake Monroe. Comes in high, 2 balls and no strikes. The double by Monroe, socked on a line toward the left field line, not fully right down it. And on a hop against the wall, it was stung. If that happens here again, it will be 2-0 Tri-City. As Guerra checks Ortiz at second, the 2-0. That comes in high, 3 balls and no strikes. So right now, Guerra struggling with a bit of control, and a little bit of stretching starting to happen in the Vancouver bullpen down the left field line. The 3-0 to Monroe. Fastball taken down the middle for strike 1. And the hit by School, by the way, the 4th of the night for the Dust Devils. So Ortiz a big lead off a second now, drawing Guerra's attention. Will he draw a throw? No, the 3-1 as Ortiz goes late. Throw down to third, not in time. He's got another. Make it 4 stolen bases for Ortiz in the first 2 games. And he's at third with a full count and 1 out. That'll bring the Canadians infield in. Ortiz tormenting Northwest League batteries for a second consecutive year. Full count pitch coming to Jake Monroe. The pitch. Fastball, it's there. Strike 3. Daniel Guerra getting the second out of the inning by getting Jake Monroe looking. 3rd strikeout of the evening for Guerra. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Tri-City 1, Vancouver 0. Capri Ortiz at third base. Ryan Nicholson, who grounded out 1 unassisted up the first base line his first time up, stands in a second time. Infield back now for Vancouver with 2 outs. The first pitch. Fastball moving away. 1 ball and no strikes. Shortstop Manny Beltre working toward the second base bag. So shifting Nicholson to pull, and he does do that. J.R. Freethy in the hole at second. The 1-0. That misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Tumbling slider. Not missing by much, but Nicholson in the proverbial hitter's count now. 2-0. Anything getting past Hayden Gilliland. Capri Ortiz likely to try and get home for the second run of the night. The 2-0. Outside, ball 3. So Guerra falls well behind Ryan Nicholson. Randy De Jesus waiting on deck. Another guy with serious pop. It's Ortiz dancing up and down the line, the 3-0. That fastball misses. It's a 4-pitch walk. That may have been an intentional walk of sorts. And so Nicholson makes his way down to first. Runners on the corners for the Dust Devils with 2 outs in the third. And now a meeting at the mound. Just infielders, though. There's no Vancouver coach out there. It was Manny Beltran, Kendry Chirinos, Aiden Gilliland, and Daniel Guerra. Perhaps conferring on a possible double steal attempt. Nicholson maybe trying to go to second, maybe get himself in a rundown and get Ortiz home before the third out. Randy DeJesus now in on the right-hand side. Dust Devils 1, Canadians nothing. Again, runners at first and third for Tri-City with 2 outs, bottom of the third inning. First pitch to DeJesus. Slider, and it's in there for a strike 0-1. And still a good amount of blue in the sky. We do have post-game fireworks presented by Yolks Fresh Market this evening. You'll likely hear them in the background of our post-game show. The 0-1. Low and outside, fastball missing. A ball and a strike. And Randy DeJesus setting the all-time single-season record for home runs by a Tri-City Dust Devil last year. 18 home runs on the year for the man wearing 19 on the back of his jersey. The 1-1. It's low, 2 balls and a strike. Knocked down by Gilliland. He keeps it in front of him. DeJesus now ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Once more, Alex Martinez, the right-hander, throwing in the Tri-City bullpen. He's just been staying loose down there. Looks as though Tyler Bremner's night might be over after 3 innings, but what a debut it is. If that is all, the 2-1. Swing and a miss, big cut on a heater. And DeJesus unable to get there. The count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ortiz at third, Nicholson at first. Manager Dan Bilardello going over to Ortiz to bring instruction and send a sign over to Brian Rupp, his first base coach, and Ryan Nicholson there. Nicholson goes, the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Looked like the Dust Devils maybe had that double steal on, or delayed double steal. DeJesus comes up empty, though. And the inning over, Daniel Guerra getting himself out of some trouble here in the third. And now up to 4 strikeouts on the night. No runs for the Dust Devils. 1 hit. No errors. 2 are left. The Dust Devils have left 4 on so far in the game, but they've scored 1. And that's the only run of the night as we go to the 4th to score. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing. Once more, this is Dust Devils baseball. To the 4th inning, and the night is indeed over for Tyler Bremner making his professional debut. But what a night it was. He goes 3 innings, giving up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts for Bremner in his professional debut. And he steps aside. No decision, but it was a brilliant first outing for the man from San Diego. Final pitch tally, 49 pitches, 30 strikes, and Alex Martinez in now for the Dust Devils. First pitch grounded up the third base line. Watching it is Jake Monroe, but it will stay fair and stop just to the right of the first base bag. It was a spinner, and Monroe ended up in no man's land, and Arjun Namala with another hit. This time of the infield variety. And so Alex Martinez rudely greeted in this contest with the Dust Devils up 1-0 here in the 4th. But I remind you, that is Arjun Namala's job. Carter Cunningham, the first baseman up. Left-hand hitter, first pitcher Martinez. Little inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Namala with that infield hit is now 1 for 2 on the evening. Second Vancouver hit of the night. They've come in consecutive innings. The 1-0. At a slow curve, and it finds the inside corner to even the count at a ball and a strike. Alex Martinez, listed at 5'10", 170, out of Santiago in the Dominican Republic. 23 years old. Had a very brief stint with the Dust Devils a couple years back. The 1-1, Namala goes. Breaking ball in for strike 2. Throw down to second, a little high into the second base side. And Arjun Namala has a stolen base for Vancouver. That's their second stolen base of the night and of the season for that matter. They had none yesterday. I don't know if anybody had Brennan Orff with the first steal of the year for Vancouver. That's what happened. Namala at second, the 1-2. Check swing. Did he offer on the fastball? No, says Brady Parrish, the home plate umpire. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The umpires in the seats disagreeing. Nothing too disrespectful uttered, it seemed. 2-2 now the count to Carter Cunningham, who grounded out to first his first time up. It was a matter of some controversy, the pitch. At the knees, strike 3. Alex Martinez finding the outer half and catching Carter Cunningham looking. 1 out in the top of the 4th. First strikeout for Martinez, 7th of the night by Dust Devils pitching. That'll bring up Alexi Hernandez, the right fielder. He struck out looking against Tyler Bremner his first time up. 1-0 Dust Devils in the 4th. Namala at second with 1 out. The pitch. Swing and a miss at his slider from Martinez. 0-1 the count. Mentioned Alex Martinez was here with the Dust Devils 2023 for 4 outings at the very end of the season. As Hernandez calls time. 8 innings, 3 runs earned, 4 in total on 4 hits. Control was a bit of an issue. 10 walks and a hit banner against 7 strikeouts, but Northwest League hitters hit just 154 against it. So this is second stint with the Dust Devils. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Another breaking ball. His last year of work was 2024. Did not pitch last year, recovering from injury. 5-6 his record at 2.60 ERA and 48 relief outings. 12 saves and 13 tries. Martinez sat checking Namala at second, the 0-2. Their slider, it's there. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Consecutive strikeouts looking. And Alexi Hernandez, too many words for Patrick McMorris, and he's been ejected from the game. There was a little bit of a discussion. Hernandez continued it and was demonstrative in pointing at McMorris. And that was what drew the heave-ho, the first ejection of the season at Giesa Stadium, and game number 2 this year. And so now Jose Mayorga, after having a word with Patrick McMorris, is going to have to go to the lineup card. And they're in a little bit of a difficult situation, are the Canadians. So we talked about Jake Casey apparently unavailable tonight for the Canadians, or at least that was the thought. He was originally in the lineup and then out of it. So the C's down an outfielder, and now they're down 2 because of Hernandez's ejection. Here's Brennan Orff, the left fielder. First pitch foul tipped into the glove of Juan Flores for a strike 0-1. So would guess it would probably be J.R. Freethy heading to the outfield and an infielder coming in. We'll see how Jose Mayorga wants to play it. Right now, Dust Devils still just trying to get out of this situation as the 0-1 off-speed missing low, a ball and a strike. Martinez with 2 strikeouts in the inning. Namala in scoring position. So a hit would very likely tie this game unless it was right at one of the Dust Devil outfielders. The 1-1. Fastball high. 2 balls and a strike. And it seemed like there's been some action in the Vancouver bullpen, but that maybe has slowed now. So we'll see if Daniel Guerra heads out for a 4th inning. The 2-1. Orff takes it low. Breaking ball that time missing 3 balls and a strike. If Orff reaches, third baseman Kendry Chirinos waits on deck. As Martinez set in the stretch his glove high toward the chin, the 3-1. It's low, ball 4. So Orff draws a walk. 2 on now for Vancouver. And Chirinos will bat. I'm looks to have some power, and a bit of stress here for Alex Martinez in the fourth inning. As mentioned, his last full year, 2024, had an outstanding year in the Inland Empire bullpen and acquitted himself pretty nicely in his brief time with the Dust Devils in 2023. Chirinos set, first pitch, or I should say Martinez. The pitch to Chirinos is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Anthony School in center field initially darted over to, from our perspective, the left side of the second base bag. He's now shifted the opposite way back to the right side of second base. So playing Chirinos the opposite way, the 1-0. Fastball missing just high. 2 balls and no strikes. So the outfield is tilted slightly the other way. Infield playing a little differently. Jake Monroe, the third baseman, is hogging the line in a no double setup. 2-0 the count. The pitcher Martinez. Fastball swing and a miss. Chirinos almost swung out of his shoes. Had to step through the other side to re-catch his balance. Two balls and a strike. 1-0 Dust Devils in the fourth. Runners at first and second for Vancouver, though. Martinez checks Namala at second, the 2-1. Chirinos pops it high in the air. Foul out of play first base side. The count even at 2-2. So now 18 pitches, 10 strikes for Alex Martinez here in the fourth. But a chance to post to 0. Walk a bit of the tightrope, but get to the other side. As time called in the box by Chirinos. And now Alex Martinez replaces his foot on the first base side of the rubber. Looks to have all of the foot on it. The heel to the end pointing toward first. Runners with their leads at first and second the pitch. Instead, no. Martinez steps back, forcing the runners back. The Dust Devils perhaps suspecting a double steal on from Jose Mayorga. Catcher Hayden Gilliland on deck for the Canadians. Yohan Macias trying to keep Namala close, the 2-2. It's high in the count, full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. That will send both Namala at second and Orf at first into motion. As Chirinos resetting in the right-hand box. The bat bouncing over his right shoulder. The full count pitch. Runners go, and the pitch fouled into the netting. I know plate. So we'll do it again, 3-2. Mentioned, 1:30 start tomorrow for us. Easter with the Dust Devils at the ballpark. There is Easter brunch fans have been signing up for. If you're listening in at the ballpark, I would recommend stopping into guest services to see if you can still get in on that. There will also be a post-game Easter egg hunt for the kids on the field. Once more, the full count pitch with 2 outs. Runners will go from first and second. Here it is. Martinez just misses ball 4. That was awfully close. But Kendry Chirinos draws the walk, and the Canadians have the bases loaded now with 2 outs in the top of the fourth. Second walk in as many batters issued by Alex Martinez. So Namala moving up to third. Orf to second, Chirinos to first. And so now a situation that will draw pitching coach Glendon Rush out of the dugout. He has a word with all involved, including Alex Martinez. It was a quick meeting at the mound, and Rush heading back to the dugout. Longtime major leaguer Glendon Rush, the pitching coach for the Dust Devils this year. Spent time with the Lake Elsinore Storm, so actually had coached men who became or were previously Dust Devils during the Tri-City San Diego affiliation. First pitch to Hayden Gilliland. It's taken for a strike, 0-1. And the bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the fourth. Tri-City leading Vancouver 1-0. Gilliland struck out his first time up. He is the King Beverage Beer banner. The 0-1. Breaking ball on the outside edge, 0-2. So Martinez well out in front here. Needing one more strike to put out this bases loaded fire. As he looks in at Juan Flores. Has his sign, glove at the hip, and now coming set at the chin in the stretch. The 0-2. Gilliland pops it high in the air. Third base side, that's well foul out of play. Count remains 0-2. We are at the dusky time of night, which I talk about often here, but there's good reason for it, where pop-ups and fly balls can be a bit of an issue because of our southern alignment and the way that the light is in the night sky. Outfielders and infielders are looking toward the last light of the day to the north and west, the 0-2. It misses high. That was awfully close. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Capri Ortiz playing up the middle. Yohan Macias shifting over into the hole between second and first. Ryan Nicholson right on the line with the lefty Gilliland at the plate. The 1-2. It's high and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jake Monroe now playing a pretty regular third base, though about mid-depth there. Not super far from the baseline. Jorge Ruiz in left is playing a bit in. Outfield is shifted to play Gilliland the opposite way. Martinez set. Runners with their leads, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, got him with a changeup. So it was a bit of a high wire act, but Alex Martinez gets to the other side. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Martinez in his return to the Dust Devils. No runs, a hit, no errors, 3 are left. And through 3.5, the score. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing. 3 ejection-based fielding changes for the Vancouver Canadians as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Tri-City Dust Devils leading Vancouver by a score of 1-0. Alexi Hernandez ejected for arguing balls and strikes in the top of the 4th inning. So that causes a couple of shifts. One we anticipated. J.R. Freethy, who was the second baseman tonight, going out to left field, where he started last night. Brendan Orff, who was the left fielder, shifting from left field to right field. And Maddox Lotta, last night's second baseman, stepping in. He had the night off, and then he didn't. He's now at second for Vancouver. Juan Flores, responsible for the only run of the game so far at the plate. First pitch from Daniel Guerra, misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. Flores took Guerra deep, and I mean deep, over the shed in left field and over the old wall for a solo homer in his first plate appearance in the 2nd inning. 409 feet, a soaring blast, 107 miles an hour off the bat. In case you don't know what those numbers mean, they're both very good. The 1-0 comes in high, 2 balls and no strikes. So again, Freethy to left field from second. Orff, the left fielder, moving over to right field, and Maddox Lotta into the game to play second, the 2-0. Fastball big, swing and a miss by Flores. He was going for his second of the night. He comes up empty. 2 balls and a strike. Guerra, kind of a modified wind, the 2-1. Fastball high, little inside as well. 3 balls and a strike. There is action in the Vancouver bullpen. Can't quite tell who's throwing down there. Trying to get a number for you. Sleuth that one out, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That was a breaking ball that time. Flores over top. There's action in the Tri-City bullpen as well now, as it looks like right-hander Zachary Redner warming up for his Tri-City debut. The pitch, the 3-2 swing and a miss. Flores unable to connect with the fastball, and Daniel Guerra has a strikeout to begin the 4th. It's now 5 strikeouts on the night for Guerra, whom outside of the homer by Flores and the double by Jake Monroe in the 1st inning has really given up a sharp single and kind of a softer one, and that's about it. Jorge Ruiz stands in now, lefty against the righty Guerra. First pitch. Ruiz, fly ball into right. Coming in a few steps is the new right fielder, Brennan Orff, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down for Daniel Ganner, who has settled in a bit here after what was a bumpy third, though he was able to get away with not giving up a run. Now, second baseman Johan Macias at the plate with the bases empty and 2 out of the 4th. 1-0 Tri-City. He takes a fastball from Ganner for his strike 0-1. Macias hit a liner that kind of skirted by on the fly, Ganner on the mound, and bounced into center field for a single. The 0-1. Macias on a hop, picked there by the shortstop. Throw to first. Out at first is the call. From here, it looked as though Macias had gotten there. Nice play by Manny Beltre, though. And the inning comes to an end. And the crowd letting the base umpire, Brady Parrish, hear it on that call. It was bang, bang, and the call ends up going Vancouver's way. 0's down the book column. We're off to the 5th. The Dust Devils 1, the Canadians nothing. The score, this is Dust Devils baseball. Moving to the 5th inning here in Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland, known as the Tri-Cities, with the Tri-City Dust Devils leading the Vancouver Canadians by a score of 1-0. Alex Martinez goes an inning. It was a little bit of a stressful inning, but ultimately a scoreless one, which as a reliever is the job. As Martinez an inning, no runs given up. He walked 2, struck out 3. And in the end, strand of the bases loaded. And now it is Zachary Redner taking over. First pitch from the righty. Fastball in for a strike. 0-1. We did mention Redner last night and his connection to perhaps the most prominent Vancouver Canadian, as Manny Beltre at the plate. The 0-1 popped in the air. First base side, foul out of play, 0-2. But Zachary Redner, the man on the mound for the Dust Devils, and Arjun Namola, tonight's designated hitter for Vancouver, high school teammates at Strawberry Crest High School outside of Tampa, Florida, the 0-2. That cutter just missing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. By the way, for Alex Martinez, 27 pitches, 15 strikes. Ultimately, job done. And now it is Redner, the 1-2. And a slider fouled straight back. Count stays a ball and 2 strikes. Redner wearing the number 22. Listed at 6 foot, 200 pounds, out of Seffner, Florida. That's the greater Tampa area, the pitch. Just missing either inside or high, and again, neither by much. Make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Redner, 21 years old. As he set at the belt, the 1-2. This is low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Redner playing at Hillsborough Community College, kind of a JUCO setup in Florida, drafted in the 20th round in 2024. The 3-2, grounded up the middle. Capri Ortiz gets to it. From behind second, throws to first in time. Carried in a couple of steps and then whipped it over. Another stellar play by Capri Ortiz. 1 out here in the 5th. We'll bring up center fielder Matthew Valet. 6'3" on the putout, and again, a nice one. Put a little star on that. As Redner fires. That's lined through the hole on the right side. Macias actually was over to the hole. But Valet with his first hit as a Vancouver Canadian, at least that we've seen. And so the 9-man comes up with a 1-out single here in the 5th inning. As Valet at first in Vancouver's red and white jersey. Very Canadian colors. Canadians across the front in white block script, gray road pants. He has a lead at first. Now J.R. Freethy, the left fielder, at the plate. First pitch to him, a breaking ball missing low and in. 1 ball and no strikes. And so we are about to see it. The 1-0 hit in the air down the third base line. And that into the Vancouver bullpen. It'll land and bounce toward kids already gathered there for Dusty's Dash. It promises to be another pretty large one tonight. We had 2,409 at the ballpark tonight. My guess is we're probably a little lower than that this evening, but we'll see. I've not done the count. The 1-1. Taken by Freethy. It's there for a strike, 1-2. As Redner, it's a bit of a casting motion as he brings it to the plate. So he hangs it back late, kind of hiding that right hand and arm behind the right side of his body. Late pickup as a result. Pickoff throw over to first. Back safely is Matthew Valet. Designated hitter Arjun Namala is on deck for Vancouver. The 1-2 runner goes. That skips in low. Valet has the base stolen. As Flores goes to get it. No further advancement, but it is a steal for Valet as he was on the move. He grabs his first bag of the year and is in scoring position now with one out in the fifth in a 1-0 game. Tri-City with the only run of the night on Juan Flores' solo homer in the second inning. Juan going out to have a word with Zachary Redner with a runner at second, likely switching up the signs or whatever else needs to be conveyed. There have been times where the league experimented with pitch comm, but I don't believe it's actually being used this year, or if it is, don't think it's being used by everybody. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Redner with a fastball gets the strikeout. He is first as a Dust Devil. 2 outs here in the fifth. And now the high school teammates from Strawberry Crest High School outside of Tampa, Florida, face off as professionals for the very first time. Zachary Redner taking on Arjun Namala. This has to be, I'm sure, a surreal moment in a way for the both of them. And Redner is charged with a balk. Apparently coming set and then moving before making his way to the plate. And so the balk will send Redner to, or should say Valet to third. The balk by Redner doing that. And now the potential tying run with good speed 90 feet away. First pitch from Redner. Slider, swing and a miss, strike one. We talked about this last night, though, in the midst of this discussion, that yes, it's a large country, a lot of people, yet baseball in some ways can be a very small world. The 0-1. That chop foul at the plate by Namala, strike two. Arjun Namala, a single and a stolen base in the fourth. Popped out to second his first time up. 1 for 2 on the night as he calls time. And Zachary Redner up, no balls and 2 strikes, trying to protect a 1-0 Tri-City lead. He looks in at Juan Flores, comes set, glove at the belt. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him with a sinking fastball. And Redner gets the best of Namala to bring the top of the fifth to a close. 2 strikeouts for Redner in his Dust Devils debut. No runs, a hit, no errors. 1 man left 90 feet away. We are halfway through this one. The score still Tri-City 1, Vancouver 0, and this still Dust Devils baseball. We're to the bottom of the fifth inning. The Tri-City Dust Devils leading the Vancouver Canadians by a score of 1-0, and designated hitter Caleb Bartolero leading things off for the Dust Devils here in the fifth inning. The 9-1-2 for Tri-City here, bottom 5. And Daniel Guerra out for a fifth inning of work. There has been action in the Vancouver bullpen, but the Canadian starter presses on here. First pitch from him. Running inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Bartolero popped out to the second baseman, J.R. Freethy at the time, to end the bottom of the second, just onto the outfield grass and right. Bartolero, Anthony School, and Capri Ortiz as the 1-0 a fastball crosses the plate to even the count at a ball and a strike. Guerra now nearing 70 pitches. He's at 68, 39 of them for strikes. And the 1-1 now to Bartolero. Breaking ball over the inner half. We'll make it 1-2 now. We've talked about Caleb Bartolero's 3-homer game at Lake Elsinore, 2nd of July 2024. Had 8 homers that year. It was a quick burst of him. I think he had 4 or 5 in about a week or a week and a half, the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sierra got him with what looked like a change coming into the upper part of the zone. And so Caleb Bartolero down on strikes to begin the 5th inning. And with that, Jose Mayorga making the call. So the pitch count for Guerra was 70, and would have to think he's be pretty pleased with his outing. Outside of 1 pitch he'd like back, maybe 2. Pretty good performance from Daniel Guerra. He will step out, though, and a new right-hander will take over for the Vancouver Canadians. A pitching change with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tri-City leading Vancouver 1-0, and we're back shortly here at DustDevilsBaseball.com, the MILB app, and Bally Sports Live. Right-hander Danny Thompson Jr. taking over for the Vancouver Canadians. 1 out, the bases empty, bottom of the 5th inning. Tri-City leading Vancouver 1-0. And Danny Thompson Jr. takes over again for the Canadians. So we went from Daniel to Danny. First pitch from the righty misses low. 1 ball and no strikes. Informed by the voice of the Vancouver Canadians, Tyler Zickel, that Thompson's nickname is Flat Brim. And I'll leave you to guess as to why. The 1-0. Anthony School takes one that cuts across the outside edge to even the count at a ball and a strike. Now, I am not looking closely at the brim of his cap, but apparently Mr. Thompson Jr. does not bend the brim. The 1-1. Fastball in for a strike, 1-2. He keeps it straight across, and so Flat Brim is his nickname. He's ahead, a ball and 2 strikes of Anthony School, who singled his last time up, 1 for 2 on the night, the 1-2 pitch. School lines one foul, third base side toward the Vancouver bullpen. Count stays 1-2. Danny Thompson Jr. out of New Bern, North Carolina, playing collegiately at UNC Greensboro and NC Wesleyan, 8th round 2025 pick of the Toronto Blue Jays. As he ready from the line, the 1-2 again. School swings and misses, strike 3. Slider that headed toward his back foot. So, Danny Thompson Jr. starting his time with Vancouver with a strikeout. 2 gone for the Dust Devils here in the 5th. Between Daniel Guerra and now Danny Thompson Jr., 6 in a row retired by Vancouver pitching, and Capri Ortiz, the shortstop, will try to break that up. First pitch from Danny Thompson Jr. comes in low, 1-0. Final line for Daniel Guerra. 4 1/3 innings, a run earned on 4 hits, 1 walk, no hit batters, 6 strikeouts. 41 strikes and 70 pitches, the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Second by Ortiz, I think clipped the catcher Hayden Gilliland with his backswing. Ortiz was very quickly back to him, apologetic. The count even had a ball and a strike. So Guerra mentioned a fine performance, but he is the pitcher of record for Vancouver. The 1-1. Slider, Ortiz lines it to the left. That's going to get down for a hit. Ortiz rounding first, heading to second. He'll stop and actually pull up with a 2-out single. Gave it thoughts, but Ortiz probably wise to put on the brakes there. But that speed puts pressure on outfielders. J.R. Freethy, though, fielding it cleanly. We're getting up quickly and getting it back in. So a 2-out base runner for the Dust Devils here in the 5th. It's Capri Ortiz now 1 for 3 on the evening. He's already stolen 2 bases tonight. As Jake Monroe at the plate. First pitch to the third baseman. Fastball in for a strike, 0-1. So Capri obviously a threat to go here. Monroe a double in the first, struck out looking in the third in a full count. 1 for 2 on the night. The 0-1. Slider low and outside. Count even in a ball and a strike. Mention Easton Rhodes, our game planning strategist, and Sam Carpenter, video assistant. Pleasure to hear from last year's game planning strategist Michael Portella earlier tonight. He back in the Angels fold, in case you were wondering, the 1-1. Fastball at the knees to bring the count to 1-2. Either in the Angels fold or hanging out in Arizona. I do believe it is the former, though. He and longtime Dust Devils coach, now Angels coordinator in Arizona, Trevor Knipe, watching the game tonight. Great to hear from you guys. The 1-2. Foul back by Jake. The count stays a ball and 2 strikes. By the way, video assistant Nathan Hemingway from last year, in case you're wondering about Nate, he's now the game planning strategist at Single A Rancho Cucamonga. So, Nate with the Quakes this year. 1-2 to Monroe. Thompson Jr. set in the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Slider downs Jake Monroe. 2 strikeouts for Danny Thompson Jr. 3 in the inning by Vancouver pitching. Despite the Ortiz single, that all for Tri-City. No runs, a hit, no errors. A man left here in the 5th. And now Dusty's dash on the go. Dusty leading the way, but getting overtaken. Enjoy the sprint. Again, kids of all ages, sponsored by our friends at Pizza Hut. We're off to the 6th. 1-0 Dust Devils the score. You're tuned in to Tri-City Dust Devils baseball. We move to the 6th inning now at Giza Stadium. The Tri-City Dust Devils leading the Vancouver Canadians 1-0, as they have since the 2nd inning. And Zachary Render begins a 2nd inning of relief work by taking on the first baseman Carter Cunningham. The heart of the order for Vancouver here in the 6th. Cunningham, then Maddox Lotta getting his first at bat as Render comes home to Cunningham with a fastball missing outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Lotta taking the spot in the order that was occupied by Alexi Hernandez until his ejection in the 4th. The 1-0, swing and a miss as Render gets one by. So it'll be Carter Cunningham, then Maddox Lotta, then Brennan Orff here in the 6th. The 1-1 slider inside, 2 balls and a strike. As Render comes ready, the 2-1. This is high, 3 balls and a strike. The Dust Devils have led again since the Juan Flores homer in the 2nd inning. Only run of the game so far. So they've held the lead for 4 innings, but it's a tenuous hold, the 3-1. Cunningham pops it high in the air, 3rd base side. Having a look is Jake Monroe, but it'll end up over the netting and into the first row of seats in the lower boxes near the hot corner on the 3rd base side. The count now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes to the powerful Carter Cunningham. And 6'4", 220 out of Haymarket, Virginia. The payoff. It's there, strike 3. Cunningham looked like he checked his swing, but the pitch called strike 3, and Cunningham is down on strikes. So Render comes back after falling behind to get the first out of the 6th. Carter Cunningham now 0 for 3 on the evening. And that will bring up Maddox Lotta, the 2nd baseman. He was 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored last night in his Vancouver debut. First pitch from Render to him, in for a strike, 0-1. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for Tri-City so far. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Vancouver. The 0-1. Lotta swings and fouls it off his foot. It rolls up the 3rd base line in fair territory, but it was foul at the moment it struck his foot. As Lotta will walk that one off, trailing no balls and 2 strikes. Lotta listed at 5'1", 193 pounds. Undrafted free agent signed by the Blue Jays last summer. The 0-2. Fastball, little looper into right. That'll get over Ryan Nicholson and fall in for a base hit. So Maddox Lotta has his first hit as a Vancouver Canadian. And I believe that one being thrown out of play to the dugouts. Mr. Lotta would like that as a souvenir. Understandably so. So Lotta at first. With one out in the 6th. The Canadians have had a runner on in every inning but the first in this game. Tri-City still up 1-0 though, as the first pitch into Brennan Orff, the now right fielder, taken for a strike 0-1. Started the game in left, but right field is where Alexi Hernandez was, and again he ejected for arguing balls and strikes in the 4th. The 0-1 comes in high, fastball missing, a ball and a strike. We mentioned earlier a word of a great play in Anaheim. Joe Adell taking a home run away from Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners. The Angels leading 1-0 in the 7th at the Big A, trying to even up that series at a game apiece. I believe Zach Neto a homer, the lone run in that contest. The 1-1, a slider low and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Just doing that from viewing a social media post. So just working in the dark there. But from the picture, I believe that is what happened, and indeed it was. The pitch popped high in the air, third base side, foul out of play. Landing in the general admission seat, still a ball and 2 strikes as all the respective children of the Tri-Cities gathered here at Gisa Stadium tonight, finding their way back to their families after Dusty's dash. Redner set, still the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes as Lotto was dancing up and down the line. There is action now in the Tri-City bullpen. I believe it is the right-hander Kyle Roche beginning to loosen down there. Or Roach, beg your pardon. That was another pronouncer we got updated this year. The pitch just inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I do believe that is Roach warming up down there. Full count pitch now coming to Brennan Orff. Another guy with some pop. Lotta at first. We'll see if he goes. He does. The pitch fouled straight back. The hit and run on, or Orff trying to protect the runner making his way to second. 1-0 Tri-City here in the 6th. This has been a tight ball game. It was tight yesterday too. Lead flipped 3 different times in the game. As Redner once more sets the 3-2. Orff pops it foul. Lotta was not going that time. As that one sailing over the netting, third base side and out of play. As the rest of the league done for the night. Eugene a 10-4 winner over Hillsborough. They're to 2-0 to start the young year. The Everett Aqua Sox even up there set with the Spokane Indians, defeating Spokane 3-2 tonight in Spokane Valley. Another 3-2 pitch on the way here. Instead of throw over to first, Lotta diving in safely. As this is coming up the 9th pitch of this plate appearance between Redner and Orff. Orff has walked twice tonight. Runner goes, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Throw down to second. They've got him. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Again, Ortiz applying the tag. And the Dust Devil defense coming up big again. Juan Flores catching his 2nd runner of the night, trying to swipe second. The inning is over. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 1-0, Tri-City the score. This is Dust Devils baseball. Ryan Nicholson to lead things up for the Dust Devils here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tri-City with a 1-0 lead over Vancouver. Danny Thompson Jr. continuing in relief for the Canadians. First pitch taken low, 1 ball and no strikes. As Thompson, the 2nd pitcher of the night for the Canadians. Tri-City's used 3 so far, and a 4th warming up in the pen. The pitch to Nicholson, a fastball catching the lower part of the zone to even the count at a ball and a strike for the Dust Devils. Tyler Bremner, 2nd overall pick, making quite a debut of the 1-1. Nicholson pops it foul, third base side. Out of play, a ball and 2 strikes. Bremner, 3 innings, scoreless, perhaps obviously. A hit, a walk, 6 strikeouts. He'll get no decision tonight, but it was a great performance. The 1-2, missing outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alex Martinez, an inning that was a bit of a rocky ride, but got to a safe destination. And Zachary Redner, 2 scoreless innings. He now the pitcher of record with 2-2. Nicholson lines one deep down the left field line, and it'll land a foot foul. Maybe 2 feet foul. Oh, so close to being either a very long single or perhaps a double. Maybe would have seen if Nicholson wanted to test the throwing arm of J.R. Freethy deep in the left field corner. Nicholson 0 for 1. He walked his last time up. That was in the 3rd. Had 2 hits last night. As Thompson Jr. looking in from the windup, the 2-2. Nicholson a grounder to the right side. Backhanded by Maddox Lotta to his right. His throw to first is in time for the first out of the bottom of the 6th. So Ryan Nicholson now 0 for 2 on the night with that walk. Randy DeJesus, the right fielder, will step up. Jesus 0 for 2. He is grounded out to 3rd and struck out. 1-0 Dust Devils. The base is empty. 1 out, bottom of the 6th. The pitch. Slider weaving its way in. No balls and a strike. As Thompson Jr. ready, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Randy behind here, looking to find a swing in 2026. The pitch. That hit high in the air, but off the end of the bat. Into shallow left center, going back, struggling with it a bit. His Manny Beltran can't get it. In and out of the glove in shallow left center. DeJesus is aboard. And the E goes up on the board. E6 charged to Beltran as he lost that one in the twilight sky of the Tri-Cities. Not really much of a breeze to speak of, so maybe just got twisted around and turned, unable to get it. So DeJesus at first with 1 out. Here's Juan Flores. Throw over to first. Oh boy, that was close, but in the end the ball ends up out of the glove of the first baseman Carter Cunningham. Believe the call was safe regardless, but DeJesus maybe caught leaning just a little there. So he extends a pretty large lead off the first base bag. Thompson Jr. sat in this stretch. First pitch now to Flores. It's low, it skips in, bouncing up all the way to the backstop of the third base side. That'll allow DeJesus to move up to second. So an error and a wild pitch. Has moved Randy DeJesus to second with 1 out and into scoring position. And the Dust Devils take advantage of the Vancouver mistake. The 1-0. Fastball missing high. 2 balls and no strikes. Dust Devils trying to win this series and set up a chance at a sweep tomorrow against a team that has tormented them the last several years in the Northwest League. A 2-0. Flores takes it low and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. DeJesus a decent lead there. Maddox Lotta trying to keep him closer to second. The 3-0. Taken inside corner for a strike. 3-1. So 2 chances, it seems, for the Dust Devils to try to get a second run home. Jorge Ruiz on deck for Tri-City. The 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. Thompson Jr. misses with a slider. And so Juan Flores aboard for the second time tonight, but for the first time, with some time actually on the bases. He got to stroll around them his first time with a solo homer. That's, again, the difference in the ball game back in the second. Now, pitching coach Eric Yardley of the Vancouver Canadians out to the mound. We mentioned it last night. We'll mention it again. He's a Richland native. Told a good crowd here this weekend for Eric Yardley. A former Bomber. I guess always one, really. out to have a word with Danny Thompson Jr. and now making his way back to the dugout. Not really stalling for time to let somebody get loose. There are a bunch of guys starting to loosen down in the bullpen, but none of them threatening to throw just yet. This is Thompson Jr.'s inning here, unless the Dust Devils can extract a bit of pain here. 1-0 Dust Devils, bottom of the 6th inning. Randy DeJesus at second, Juan Flores at first. Thompson Jr. set, and he will step off before the clock expires. Third baseman Kendry Chirinos is playing up at the edge of the grass in case Ruiz wants to lay a bunt down. He's known to be a speed man who can try to cause that sort of havoc on the base paths. The pitch. Ruiz takes it outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Then to that 1:30 game tomorrow, the pitching matchup for the Dust Devils. It'll be righty Jefferson Vargas returning to the Tri-City rotation and making his debut this year. He'll take on righty Colby Holcomb of the Canadians. Again, 1:30 the start time, the pitch. Fastball taken by Ruiz for a strike, bringing the count square at 1-1. Ended up in a multiple pitchers duel tonight here in Pasco through 5 1/3. The 1-1. Ruiz topped ground to right side. Lot to second for 1. There'll be no throw to first as Ruiz beats it easily. Randy DeJesus up to third on the fielder's choice. Runners on the corners now for the Dust Devils, but 2 outs here in the 6th. Johan Macias will come up. Macias 1 for 2. A line drive single his first time up. Grounded out to short. That was the call anyway. Looked as though he was safe from here. Macias very likely should be 2 for 2, but that's baseball in life sometimes. 1-0 Tri-City in the 6th. Runners on the corners, 2 out. First pitch outside. Fastball missing 1-0. 4-6 is the scoring on the fielder's choice, by the way. Putting Ruiz on at first. Jorge now 0 for 3 tonight. The 1-0 pitch now to Macias. Switch hitter on the left-hand side. Swing and a miss. As that curved in on the hands to bring it even at a ball and a strike. Caleb Bartolero, designated hitter on deck for the Dust Devils, the 9-man in the order. Thompson Jr. ready, the 1-1. Macias, fly ball down the left field line, slicing toward the Vancouver bullpen. It will land between the mound and the plates down there, foul, and bounce into what's left of the grassy berm over on the left field side. There's still a decent amount of room for kids to run around, play some catch. Just not as much as there was. 1-2 now, the count to Johan Macias. They could use that single they got in the second. The 1-2. Macias, hard grounder on 2 ops to short. Manny Beltran grabs it, races to second, and it'll get in before the slide of Jorge Ruiz. And that ends the inning. So the Dust Devils are turned away here in the bottom of the 6th as the 6 unassisted force out ends the inning. No runs for Tri-City, no hits, an error, and 2 men are left. To the 7th with the score. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing, as it's been since the 2nd. High drama here in Pasco for Dust Devils baseball tonight. Right-hander Kyle Roche takes over for the Tri-City Dust Devils. And again, I said it. It is, in fact, Kyle Roach on the mound. Like Papa, the band. Like the insect, if you prefer. And he takes over here to begin the 7th inning. Tri-City leading 1-0. And Kendry Chirinos, third baseman at the plate. First pitch for the man from Braintree, Massachusetts, inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Kyle coming up late in the year last year for the Dust Devils. The 1-0 comes in. Fastball again. This time a strike. 1-1. Kendry Chirinos, Hayden Gilliland, and Manny Beltre. The 6, 7, 8 for Jose Mayorga's Canadians here in the 7th. The 1-1 breaking ball. Beautiful curve. Chirinos coming up empty, 1 and 2. Infield playing Chirinos to pull the 1-2. Another curve. It's there. Strike 3. Chirinos now 0 for 2. The 2 outs, both strikeouts looking. That time the off-speed stuff. Getting Kendry Chirinos for the first out of the 7th. That'll bring Hayden Gilliland, the catcher, up to the plate. It is the 7th inning. This means one more beer banner opportunity. He has struck out twice. First pitch from Roche. Breaking ball missing low, 1-0, and again it is Roach. I'm going to be fighting that all year as long as Kyle's here. But we did this year get everybody, when we got their headshots, kind of a car wash of sorts, and they had to come to me and say their name into the microphone. We want to get people's names right, the 1-0. Fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Braintree just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Played collegiately at Franklin Pierce College. 2-0. Swing and a foul tip at the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Franklin Pierce, the only president from the state of New Hampshire, and also for whom Pierce County in western Washington is named, where Tacoma sits. Last year, Roach 5-1, a 4.43 ERA between Inland Empire and Tri-City. 2-1 for the Dust Devils. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball, swing, and a miss, strike 2. And the crowd hoping for one more discounted brew at Hayden Gilliland's expense. Nothing personal, only business. The 2-2. Lays off a pitch coming in low, and the count full 3-2. The crowd booing simply because it wasn't strike 3, but it was clearly low. And now a full count pitch to the Canadians catcher in a 1-0 game in the 7th. Here it is. Grounded up the middle to short. Capri Ortiz has it. He sets and throws in time. 2 outs in the 7th. No third discounted brew. Still, for the fans here at Geisa Stadium, that's 4 in 2 games. That time, just a garden variety 6-3 groundouts. And up to the plate now is the shortstop Manny Beltre. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing. The base is empty. 2 gone in the 7th. First pitch from Roach. Misses, 1 ball and no strikes. Sky's fully dark here now in Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland. The 1-0. Beltre high in the air to left. Going back, Jorge Ruiz shy of the warning track. He makes the catch. And the inning is over. Cooler night in April. That ball's caught. Perhaps June or July, maybe not. But it is April. And so the inning is over. Kyle Roach, a 1-2-3. Top of the 7th. Time for us to stretch here at Geisa Stadium. We've gotten there with a little bit of speed. That's because the score remains. The Dust Devils 1, the Canadians nothing, and this remains Dust Devils baseball. The fans have limbered up. Many of them still standing as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning at Geisa Stadium. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing, as it's been since the bottom of the 2nd when Juan Flores went deep and out over not only the new left field wall, but the old left field wall. That is the only run so far in the contest. Danny Thompson Jr. continuing on. First pitch to Caleb Bartolero. Fastball missing inside. 1 ball and no strikes. So Thompson Jr. now working into his 3rd inning of relief. The 1-0 fouled into the top of the netting and back down. Anthony School, I think, tried to catch it with his foot, or maybe dribble in soccer style. Came close. Count even at 1-1. Caleb so far 0 for 2. The pitch. Fastball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Bartolero's popped out to second, and he is struck out swinging. RBI bases loaded walk last night. Still looking for his first hit as a Dust Devil. 2-1. Swing and a miss to even the count at 2-2. Thompson Jr. from the wind. The pitch. Breaking ball foul away. Bartolero a late swing, but getting a piece to stay alive. Up into the very top row of the reserve seating section on the first base side. So a souvenir there. Infield and outfield pretty straight away against the DH. The pitch. Fastball outside and the count full now. 3-2. Bartolero, Anthony School waiting on deck. Capri Ortiz in the hole. 9-1-2 for Dan Billardello's Dust Devils. Here in the bottom of the 7th. The payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Thompson Jr. rocking a fastball by. Bartolero down on strikes for the first out of the 7th. That's the 3rd strikeout for Danny Thompson Jr. tonight. There's still nobody throwing in the bullpen right now for Vancouver. There's been stretching, but this is a longer outing for the righty from New Bern, North Carolina. Anthony School watches a cutter missing in, 1-0. That is New Bern, B-E-R-N, which would alert me to the possibility that perhaps some Swiss immigrants founded that place. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Pitch with some drop in the count, even at a ball and a strike. Bern, one of the largest cities in Switzerland. Didn't think we'd be talking about that tonight, but here we are, the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. That again off speed. School chasing after it. He trails a ball and 2 strikes. 1 for 3 tonight, School. He struck out swinging twice. He's also lined a single to right center. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Thompson Jr. in a bit of a groove now. As he gets School on strikes. Make it now 4 strikeouts this evening, and 2 of them of School. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing. The base is empty for the shortstop Capri Ortiz. Ortiz has been aboard twice, but only gets credit for 1. First pitch to him, fastball, strike 1. Capri flew out to center his first time up. Ranged on a fielder's choice, stole his 3rd and 4th bags of the year in the 3rd, singled his last time up. The 1 into center. The center fielder, Matthew Valet, a little back and to his left, makes the catch of the line drive. And the inning is over. Well struck by Ortiz. The inning done. 1-2-3 go the Dust Devils here in the 7th. And so we head in the 8th. 1-0 Tri-City. The score is held. The Dust Devils need 6 more outs. Kyle Roach back to work when we come back here at DustDevilsBaseball.com, Valley Sports Live, and the MILBN. Fans in good spirits here at Geisa Stadium. Tri-City leading Vancouver 1-0 as we head to the 8th inning. And Kyle Roach ready to go, ready to take on the center fielder Matthew Valet. 9-1-2 for Vancouver in the 8th in their red and white Canadiens jerseys, gray road pants. Tri-City in their special 25th season jerseys, navy with beige pinstripes. First pitch from Roach, fastball outer half for a strike, 0-1. Tri-City across the front, the 25th season cap as well. Navy, Dusty the Dust Devil, or sorry, the TC on the front, beg your pardon. And the beige brim, the 0-1 in there again, 0-2. Valet a single through the hole on the right side of the infield in the 5th his last time up. He's also struck out swinging, 1 for 2. The pitch. Shot down the left field line. Fair ball inside the line, heading for the left field corner. Valet rounding first, heading for second. He'll get there without a throw. It's a leadoff double for the 9-man of the Vancouver order to start the 8th. That was carved down the left field line, landing inches inside. So now, we'll see what Jose Mayorga has in store here. The Canadiens are not known for being a small ball operation. They're also not known for trying to steal a lot of bases, but we've seen a couple of steals tonight. Also, 2 times Juan Flores catching a runner stealing. Corner infielders in. Will Freethy lay down a bunt or try? First pitch. Answer no, he didn't square. Pitch comes in high, 1-0. Zachary Redner is believed to be the pitcher of record right now for the Dust Devils. Daniel Ganner on the hook, the starter for Vancouver at the moment. It's the 1-0. That's inside. 2 balls and no strikes. So Jake Monroe and Ryan Nicholson at the edge of the grass, or in Nicholson's case, the baseline. Capri Ortiz standing within a few feet of second, trying to hold Matthew Valet as close as he can. Macias at second in as well, the pitch. Fastball outside. Not by much, but it misses. 3 balls and no strikes. We do have a palindrome of a scoreboard at the moment. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for Tri-City. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Vancouver. Lay him out one side or the other, and they repeat. The 3-0. That's outside, a 4-pitch walk. So a double and a walk. 2 on, nobody out. And Arjun Namala, a man who has already done significant damage this season, coming to the plate. Manager Dan Bilardello coming out to the mound. There's nobody warming in the bullpen, though, so this is an informational and encouragement meeting. Not only for Kyle Roach, but also the entire infield. Bilardello wanting everybody to be on the same page in this 1-0 ball game in the 8th. But Vancouver with a big threat now. First and second, nobody out, and their power bats coming to the plate. Again, Namala in the season opener last night. A solo homer in the first, a bases clearing double in the middle of the game. The 5th inning it was. He drove in 4. He scored 3 times. Would very much doubt that he would be someone to lay down a bunt here in this moment, but Tri-City ready just in case. As Roach comes set in the stretch, checking Valet at second. First pitch. Breaking ball missing. 2 balls and no strikes. So I must have missed a pitch timer violation, or so 2-0 the count. So here is now that delivery. Fastball popped in the air on the infield. Juan Flores having a look, going back behind home plate, tracking it. On the warning track, he makes the catch. A huge first out potentially for the Dust Devils here in the 8th, as the runners have to hold. Flores going back, tracking that one, and then as pop-ups tend to do, coming back toward the infield. And he makes the catch for the first out. That'll bring Carter Cunningham to the plate. First and second, 1 out now. Top 8, 1-0 Tri-City. Huge moment in this ball game. First pitch to Cunningham. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. The curve, 0-1. This has definitely looked to be set up for Dan Bilardello and crew anyway, to have Roach get through the 8th, ideally, and then somebody take on the 9th for the save. The 0-1. Another curve, another swing and a miss, strike 2. Carter Cunningham 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out twice looking. He's also grounded out down the first base line. And that was in the first inning. He thought he fouled it off. As Cunningham steps out. Now the big lefty back in, but Roach well ahead. The 0-2. Outside. Trying to get him to chase something moving away, and Cunningham declined. 1-2 now the count. The second baseman, Maddox Lotta, waiting on deck. Again, that was Alexi Hernandez's spot, but Hernandez ejected in the 4th inning for arguing balls and strikes. The 1-2. Curve outside, a little high that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. No action in the Vancouver pen and none in the Dust Devils either. This is Kyle Roach's game here in the 8th. As he settles in the stretch. The 2-2. Lined, caught by Macias. To his left for the second out. Johan was hoping to try to turn a double play to end the inning, but the runners hurry back to their bags. And again, 2 out in the inning. That one hit somewhat sharply, but right to Macias, really just a little to his left. He makes the catch. And it will be up to Maddox Lotta now, who singled his first time up, sending one into right. The pitch. Breaking ball, that's there, 0-1. Dust Devils 1, Canadians nothing. Matthew Valet at second. J.R. Freethy in first. Good speed, both bases. So something in a gap down the line could give Vancouver the lead. The 0-1. Fastball, it misses just high. A ball and a strike. Juan Flores held that there an extra beat. See if Patrick McMorris might reconsider. Umpires very rarely do, though. Can't even hit a ball and a strike. Roach ready. He checks Valet at second. The 1-1. Curveball low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Certainly, if you're Kyle Roach, this is the guy you want to go after. Brennan Orff. Another powerful lefty waiting on deck. You're looking to get this out right here. Kyle ready, and the 2-1. Fastball, it misses. Did he offer? No. 3 balls and a strike. Capri Ortiz with his arms extended, wondering how it wasn't just a called strike if he didn't go. And the zone at the plate has been a matter of some controversy tonight. In baseball, it kind of always is. 3-1 to Lotta the pitch. It's inside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded for Vancouver here in the top of the 8th. So you have Valet is third, Freethy is second, and now Lotta at first. So that's good speed, all 3 bases. And if anything got away, potentially the tying run could score there. Here is Brennan Orff. First pitch. Curve outside, 1-0. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing. Bases loaded for the Canadians with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Outfield playing somewhat back. Infield playing Orff to pull. Roach set, the 1-0. Fastball, inner half, it's there, 1-1. Brennan Orff, 2 walks tonight, a stolen base, and a strikeout swinging. That was his last time to the plate against Zachary Redner. The 1-1. Fouled straight back. Big cut from Orff. Got a piece, but Roach ahead now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And really not much of any breeze. Just the tip of the American flag hanging down, but waving in that light breeze. The bright lights of Pasco and Kennewick in the foreground. The 1-2. Orff fouls it away. Third base side, over the netting. Still 1-2. In the bottom of the 8th for Tri-City, it'll be Monroe, Nicholson, and DeJesus, the 3-4-5. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Roach gets Orff with a curveball, and Kyle gets into trouble, and he gets out of it. Vancouver leaves the bases loaded for the second time tonight. Big pitch from Kyle Roach, the inning over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 3 are left. Vancouver has left 8 on base tonight. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is still Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing, and this is still Dust Devils baseball. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Tri-City Dust Devils 1, the Vancouver Canadians nothing. Kyle Roach getting out of a bases-loaded jam in the 8th. And Jake Monroe taking on Danny Thompson Jr., who has continued on as the piggyback after starter Daniel Gatter went 4 1/3. He's gone the rest of the way, though there is action in the Canadians' bullpen. First pitch to make it second pitch to Monroe, pulled sharply foul up the third base side toward that Vancouver pen. And so the count even at a ball and a strike. Monroe doubled in his first at bat. One hop liner off the fence down the left field line. He has struck out looking and swinging since the pitch. Grounder pulled softly foul past Dan Billardello, who did not move. Not even an inch. As it curled around him. A ball and 2 strikes. There is action in the Tri-City pen as well. A right-hander getting loose down there. The 1-2. Monroe, check swing and a breaking ball. Did he go? No, says the base umpire Brady Parrish. Did look like Monroe was able to check the swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Dust Devils and the Canadians. Final game of the series tomorrow at 1:30. Pre-game at 1:10. The 2-2. Monroe swings and misses strike 3. Danny Thompson Jr. gets him with a slider. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, and that'll bring Ryan Nicholson to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Dust Devils would love an insurance run, which again the man at the plate can accomplish with a single swing. First delivery. Swing and a miss, 0-1. So it goes over the top of a slider. We mentioned the Northwest League night done. Most of the Angel system done as well. The 0-1. It's low, a ball and a strike. Salt Lake and Sacramento end up splitting a doubleheader. Game lost due to weather on Thursday night in Salt Lake City. 5-4 in Game 1 to the Bees. 7-1 to the River Cats in Game 2. The 1-1. Nicholson takes a fastball high. 2 balls and a strike. Down in the Cal League, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes now leading Inland Empire 12-4. Top of the 8th inning there as the Quakes looking for the sweep, the 2-1. Nicholson high in the air to right. Think the yard's going to hold it, though. Making his way back is Brennan Orff and a little shy of the warning track. He makes the catch for out number 2. Ryan just got a little underneath that one. Not far off of his first home run of the season. 2 up and 2 down, but apparently Danny Thompson Jr. has reached his pitch count. So Jose Mayorga is going to come take the ball from him. But another strong performance from the Canadians as Thompson Jr. will go. It'll end up 3 innings, 3 1/3, scoreless. And he will hand it off to a right-hander coming in. So we'll take a break with 2 outs and the bases empty in the bottom of the 8th inning. The score, Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing. Thanks again for checking out Tri-City Dust Devils baseball tonight. Right-hander Jonathan Todd takes over for the Vancouver Canadians. Guy who spent a little bit of time in the Northwest League. Danny Thompson Jr., the man for whom Todd is taking over. 3 1/3, no runs, a hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Really good work from Thompson Jr. and Randy DeSuze taking off-speed pitch missing inside from Todd. 1 ball and no strikes. For Thompson Jr., 56 pitches, 37 strikes. And I think doing basically what Jose Mayorga exactly had asked of it. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. And adds some movement and some velocity. Count even in a ball and a strike. Jonathan Todd, also from North Carolina, Reensville, North Carolina to be precise. 6'6", 225. It's been a 2 out of 3 pretty large dudes on the mound for the Seas tonight. The 1-1. Breaking ball catches the upper part of the zone for strike 2. Can't help but note Jonathan Todd, a little bit of flair on the cleats. I don't know whether those are gold flecks involved, but they're picking up the stadium lights. The 1-2. Slider at the top of the zone, strike 3. Randy DeJesus is down looking. Jonathan Todd, one batter, job done, inning over. The Dust Devils retired in order. And so we head to the 9th inning with the right-hander Lucas Malstead coming in to try to get the final 3 outs. For the Dust Devils, we go to the 9th. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing. Don't go anywhere. This is Dust Devils baseball. To the 9th inning now at Giesa Stadium. Tri-City 1, Vancouver nothing the score. And the sidewinding righty Lucas Malstead into the game for the Tri-City Dust Devils, making his professional debut, trying to grab the final 3 outs of this contest. As Tyler Bremner, his pro debut, 3 innings, scoreless. A combination of 4 pitchers so far, scoreless for the Dust Devils. Malstead trying to be the 5th and final to finish this 1-0 game. Lucas listed at 6'3", 180 pounds. And again, bit of a, not quite submarine delivery, but certainly to the side. First man he faces in the pros, third baseman Kendry Chirinos. First pitch, slider, popped in the air. Right center field, Anthony School over. Randy DeJesus is as well. It is School to make the catch. Pretty efficient there from Malstead. 1 pitch, 1 out to begin his pro career. And so Malstead on the board. 1-0 Dust Devils, bases empty. Top of the 9th. And with 1 out, Hayden Gilliland, the catcher, steps in. First pitch to the lefty. Fastball, inner half, just missing. 1 ball and no strikes. Gilliland was the King Beverage beer batter tonight, struck out twice. So fans profiting at his expense, the 1-0. Slider, really more a sweeper, whipping in for strike 1. Juan Flores, the man behind home plate, solo homer in the bottom of the 2nd inning. That has stood so far as the only run in the game. The 1-1. Another slider. Gilliland scoops it foul. Very close to Tyler Zickel over there. In the visiting radio booth to our left. He was completely unfazed. Did not even flinch an inch. We had one come in last year. The 1-2. Inside. Almost hit Gilliland. Fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lucas Malstead, M-A-H-L-S-T-E-D-T, though the T is largely silent, it seems. Pitch collegially at Clemson. The 2-2, it just misses either low or outside, awfully close. So the count full now to Gilliland. Vancouver in need of a base runner. Trailing 1-0 in the 9th. Malstead ready, working the first base side of the rubber. The 3-2. Slider popped in the air, straight over us. Coming in toward the home plate beer stand. Look out there. By the time you heard that, it was probably too late. The count remains full at 3-2. Malstead from Ormond Beach, Florida, was born in Miami. And Gilliland was not addressed to Malstead in time, and he is out. Strike 3. A batter timer violation. What a strange way for Malstead to pick up the 2nd out, though. The Dust Devils will take it. Vancouver now down to their last chance. Manny Beltre up. First pitch to the shortstop. A swing and a miss. 0-1. Beltre singled in the 3rd, was caught stealing. Hit a deep fly ball to left his last time up. The 0-1. Slider swinging a miss, strike 2, and the Canadians down to the last strike. Believe a crowd of nearly 2,000. Hoping to see the Dust Devils get it across the line. The 0-2. Slider fouled off the end of the bat. Beltre keeps it going for 1 more pitch. Malstead looking for his first save in his first pro outing. The 0-2. Slider, Beltray lays off it this time. It misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Infield playing Beltray to pull. The outfield is too slightly. Jorge Ruiz pretty deep in left, remembering the last at bat. The 1-2. In on the hands, fouled away down the third base line. Toward the end of the Vancouver dugout, actually. I think Beltray actually either in need of a new bat or some piece of equipment. It is indeed a new bat that he has need of. So he will look to get a little bit of stickiness on that handle. And they have sprays and things to apply. Some folks like the regular old pine tar. Beltray now with a new bat heading back to home plate. Maybe just trying to throw Lucas Malstedt's rhythm off a little bit, though he certainly was showing as though that bat had broken somehow. Again, 1-2 the count. 1-0 Dust Devils. 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. The pitch. Outside, fastball missing, 2 balls and 2 strikes. If Beltray reaches, the center fielder Matthew Valet would get an opportunity. He doubled his last time up and has 2 hits on the night. The 2-2. Sweeper missing outside, and Beltray works the count full. Things have certainly cooled off now with the skies dark here in the mid-Columbia. Full count pitch now to Manny Beltray. Slider, swing and a miss, strike 3, game over. Lucas Malstedt in his first pro appearance. 3 outs and a save, and the Dust Devils defeat the Vancouver Canadians tonight by a final score of 1-0. Tri-City 2-0. They win the series. An opportunity for a 3-game sweep of the Canadians comes on an Easter Sunday afternoon tomorrow here in Pasco. Post-game fireworks on the way. A crowd of nearly 2,000 saw this one. And again, Tri-City wins it by a score of 1-0. A 5-man combined shutout, getting it done for the Dust Devils tonight. We will come back with a post-game show. We'll get to the final totals, recap the game, have a look at the scoreboards, and tomorrow too, as again the final this evening here in Pasco. Tri-City 1, Vancouver 0, and the post-game show is next.